Okay, so there are two ways to hire a developer. The first option is to work with someone for equity and under the agreement that, okay, we both put in equal effort and we get equal outcomes, and you run product, I run marketing, etc., etc. This is pretty easy to do with Slatercord, which is my personal Discord server, and I will recommend this just because I funnel everyone that watches my YouTube channel to my Discord, so there's a lot of app guys in there, and I'll show you it right now. Like, this is the Find a Co-Founder chat that I recommend typing in. So as you can see, I'm looking for a marketing co-founder, 70-30 split, well, whatever. Like, you kind of see there's a lot of engagement, a lot of traffic. So it's worth a chance. And you can say something like this: looking for a dev to go 50-50 on an app with, I'll be a marketing killer. I built the Art Mafia course and I'm extremely focused on being successful with this. I have a ton of ideas and I'm ready to go all in. DM me and let's jump on a call. So for example, you can copy this message, go into my Discord, post it, and you will at least get like a few replies. But you might have to hustle and post a few different times and try and find someone. But we have 1,100 people in here. Everyone is super motivated in apps, and I'm sure you can find one single individual that's also that is technical and that would love to work with you. And I would mention you bought the course because that is a really positive sign that like you're putting your money up front because you want to invest in yourself. Like, it's a massive green flag. And then like here, linked right here is vested equity to protect yourself. Something that I've learned, and I've learned too late, and so have a bunch of my friends, like even Blake and Zach, they learned too late. We brought people on for equity that long term didn't provide any value, and it fucked us all. So now there are like lawsuits, there's complications, and like it's not worth that headache. So setting up a vested equity agreement is very important. I don't know too much about it, but I just know it's really important. So I would recommend going to this link and figuring out a good structure for both of you. A little personal like note as well is when I started Quitter for the first time with Connor, I built all the app. And we tried to like work out an equity agreement, or he tried to work out an equity agreement, but I was like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to agree to any sort of equity until we kind of both prove ourselves to each other. Like, for example, I built the app. He was running marketing, but he couldn't run marketing until I built the app. So I put in all the upfront effort. So like him taking 50% of my effort before he had done anything himself didn't make sense to me. So I said, look, let's get to like 100K revenue, which sounds ridiculous, before we discuss equity. And that was like a trust between both of us. And, you know, we got to 100K revenue and then we sorted out the equity part. And yeah. Now, the reason we did that is because it's important to not get trapped. Like, a lot of co-founders change after money, like things get really complicated. So it's important to have that level of trust and prove yourselves to each other. So here are some things to look for in a founding equity-based engineer. They should be clearly competent. They should be extremely smart. They match their intensity and objectives. Like, they're not just sitting around waiting, or they're like unbothered, or they're not really motivated. You don't want someone like that. You don't want to handhold someone. You want someone that's like, okay, I'm gonna fucking code this in a week, and then you're gonna, like, you as the marketer are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do this strategy for Reddit. I'm gonna do this, and like you're both matching each other's intensity. That reduces the friction and the struggle. Whereas like if someone else, like if they are, for example, pulling the weight and you're not, you know, like it's not going to be successful long term. They should also be willing to sacrifice time and money for an unproven product. They should kind of know what they're getting into. You know, you should explain or emphasize that it's going to be long and hard for a long time. Well, that depends on how successful your marketing is, but usually in most cases, it's long and hard and there's no results. And then you get like one result, and then it gets to 10, and then boom, like you've got a booming business. But like there is a big gap of time between that. It could be months, like several months. So just make sure you both understand that. So there's, like, to emphasize again, there is an opportunity cost as a good developer to waste your time on a project that is uncertain he's not getting money from. So, and then on that note, it's better to find a founding engineer that's younger rather than older, because if they're older, they have financial responsibilities like paying for rent or maybe providing for their kids or whatever. So they will be less inclined to work on an unproven product rather than someone that's young and hungry, that's in school, that doesn't need to be, earning money, right? Whew. Wow. They should also have high agency and like if they fuck up, they admit they fucked up, and like they make the right steps to correct that fuck up, and don't just blame other people or blame you or whatever. You should also vibe with them. You should just be generally friends. Another bonus benefit is like if you have the same goals as someone you work with, like me and Connor, my co-founder and Quitter, we have the same goals, we want the same things, so it's really easy to vibe with and like understand each other. Whereas like, for example, like maybe someone's super materialistic but someone isn't, and then like then the objectives or goals or whatever are misaligned, and that causes friction. So it's not that complex, to be honest. And I want to emphasize, like, you don't want to just I feel like you don't just want to find someone that's super technical. You want to find someone that's technical and you'll vibe with. And I'd like kind of prioritize the person you vibe with over just being super technical, because the struggles of building and growing a business are very tough, and it's super important to share that pain and that growth together, rather than suffering silently and you just have a fucking coding robot doing what he's told. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have conversations and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much how to do it from an equity standpoint. I hope I covered all bases there. There's another option, which is Crack Devs, which is one of our partners. You can hire their team and they will build you an MVP for around 5K. And then there are some like maintenance on top of that if you choose, but they are very solid and I highly recommend them. Just say you came from @Mafia and they will give you a bit of a discount. But yeah, that's also another option. But again, as I said, it's less fun, less exciting, and I think the journey should prioritize being fun, because if you have fun while doing it, it doesn't feel like work. So that's my point on hiring a developer. Hope that helps.